Hi, everybody. Welcome to Captain's Table and how ChatGPT could revolutionise recruitment. My name is Tony Hall. I run Navigator Consulting, specialist growth consultants to the recruitment industry. I sit on boards and I help to grow and improve recruitment companies. Captain's Table is our monthly forum, cutting edge learning around how to build a better and more efficient recruitment company. Captain's Tables for leaders of the industry to really update their knowledge and to stay ahead of the market. Today, we are here with the very kind support of our sponsors, who you will see on the next slide here. JobAdder, A Positive, Digit Pro, William Buchan, People 2.0. Without the support of these great industry suppliers, we would not be able to bring you Captain's Table. So we appreciate their help very much. Thank you. Today, here's what we're going to cover. What is ChatGPT? How much does it cost? What is it good at? What are its capabilities and what are its limitations? Practical ChatGPT applications. Examples of how ChatGPT can revolutionise recruitment and how ChatGPT can save recruiters time and money and make more placements. What ChatGPT cannot replace and what's next in the world of AI for recruitment. Just as a side note, 90% of this presentation is generated by ChatGPT and DALL-E, both very cutting edge, recently released as early as or as late as October 2023. Even as this presentation goes to air, ChatGPT version 4 just got released a few days ago. So this will cover the basics of ChatGPT, but most importantly, how it applies to recruitment. All right, let's quickly let's use ChatGPT to pretty much produce this presentation for us so that you'll get a good idea of its capabilities. And I hope you can see the slide okay. And instead of typing live, I will make sure that you've got everything that you need on the slides here. So we asked ChatGPT, what's the difference between ChatGPT and Google? There's a long answer. I don't want to read that long answer to you, so you type into ChatGPT, make it simpler. So, and it does, and it says ChatGPT is a computer program that can talk to you like a person and give answers based on what you ask. Google, on the other hand, is a website that helps you to find information on the internet by showing you websites that relate to what you search for. Now, in the future, I honestly believe that the two are going to converge together, and Google is going to need to come to the forefront and incorporate AI to overcome this separate issue of all the different links that you have to trawl through when you're looking for something on Google versus what you're using ChatGPT for. And currently, ChatGPT is great for knowledge and content and learning without having to trawl through numerous links as you do with Google at this stage. ChatGPT, as you probably all know, is currently free. You sign up at OpenAI and you can get a free version of it. It does have some limitations, especially during peak periods. And those peak periods are when the northern hemisphere is in working hours. So in the southern hemisphere here, we don't have a lot of problems with not being able to get on. And but there is a faster version available that is called ChatGPT Plus, which is only $20 US a month. So if you're really into ChatGPT, I think $20 a month is very, very reasonable. And there's some other features that you'll get. For example, you get priority even during peak periods. You'll never be locked out and told to come back later. And there are some, and it's faster, and there's some other functionality that's going to be released as soon for premium users. Next, we need to know what ChatGPT is best at. And let's ask ChatGPT what it thinks it's best at. And it's a powerful language model, as you can see here, that excels, as we talked about before, at generating human-like text response to a wide variety of inputs. And I'm not going to read you all the text here. You can get a copy of the presentation and read this for yourself, but just the highlights here. It's good at natural language processing, generating text, learning from data, contextual understanding, multilingual support, and overall it's best, again, as generating human-like text and understanding natural language. You can translate into just about every single language. You can ask it questions. You can get it to supply it in bullet point forms. You can get more detailed answers. You can get less detailed answers. You can change the tone and ask it to be more formal or less formal. Anything that you want to do to set up the type of answers that you want, you can tell it what to do. When I asked it to simplify this answer, you can see that ChatGPT, it repeats itself a little bit here, as a powerful tool that's good at understanding and generating human-like text. It can learn from data, understand context, and support multiple languages. It's useful for creating chatbots, translating languages, and generating content. That is it in a nutshell. And that's a lot, as you'll see as we go through this presentation. Here's the opening page. Once you have signed up to ChatGPT, as I said, go to OpenAI, and all you need to set up a username and a password. It's got some examples to some of the questions you can ask it. You can pretty much ask it anything, from how do you make your teeth whiter to how do you get scratches out of your car, how to motivate staff, any application you possibly want to ask, and you'll be absolutely amazed and surprised, if you haven't already tried it, at some of the responses that you get. For those of you that have tried ChatGPT before, you have a little advantage, but the best way to really get into it is to start playing with it and putting questions in and refining those questions. But this presentation is going to really focus on how we're going to use it for recruitment and to make the recruitment process more efficient. And then there are some advanced features that we're going to cover in a later session. So capabilities, we've covered that. And one of the capabilities, or one of the limitations, if we ask about limitations, is that sometimes the information is not quite right. The database only goes up to 2021, and it says that occasionally it might produce biased content. I haven't seen that yet, but if you ask it really controversial questions, it'll try to be, I guess, neutral on the responses, so that you won't get opinion. It'll default to fact, and if it's more opinion based, it'll tell you that it can't really answer that. Anything that's illegal has been purged from the system. So illegal activities, you can't ask about them, and it'll tell you so. So up to you to experiment with that sort of stuff. So here's some examples of some of the limitations, just so you know. Who was the Australian Prime Minister? And you'll see that it's the previous Prime Minister, because the cutoff date is September 2021, and that's the knowledge base. And as ChatGPT progresses, I'm sure that knowledge base will come up to date a lot quicker, because there's so much information for it to be grabbing, because you're going to be asking it about just about anything. I asked it to play me some AC/DC songs. Can't do that. I asked it to draw me an organizational chart. Well, no wonder it can't do that, because there's a typo there. An organizational chart of a 10-person business. Even though there's a typo, you'll see the answer. It says that it can't draw the chart, but it can describe it. So that's a limitation currently. You can ask it what its limitations are. Now, these are in addition to the limitations you saw on the home screen of ChatGPT, and it self professes or that it's not good at emotional intelligence. It does have a lack of emotional intelligence. Inability to understand context, biases and inaccuracies in training data, because it is a machine learning model. So there is a difference between AI and machine learning, and some will argue that a lot of this is machine learning, where we're training the machine to come up with the appropriate responses. AI is when it's getting to think as a separate entity, which is the scary part that a lot of people are worried that AI can become. So it has limited knowledge and experience itself, but I don't think that's really a limitation because it's providing you with lots of results on the questions that you ask. And it has the inability to provide legal or medical advice. It's not a it's not a qualified lawyer or doctor, but you'll be surprised when you enter a search such as "I've got a sore throat, what could it possibly be?" It'll list all the options for you. It can't diagnose you, obviously, but it can do a lot of filtering so that you can narrow down what's potentially causing that sore throat, for example. So it has tremendous implications for both the legal and medical professional. And you've probably read that it's been able to pass the medical exam and pass the legal exam in the US currently. And then with the new version that's just out of ChatGPT 4, version 4, I've seen that its pass marks have gone even higher with the newest version. So I asked an inappropriate question down there, how to make an explosive device. I knew it was obviously inappropriate, and this is for the purposes of testing out ChatGPT, but it says, sorry, I cannot provide that information. So there will be hacked versions, of course, that will provide answers to a lot of this stuff. Watch this space on that. So I asked it for some ideas on giving a great presentation, because clearly I want to give you all a great presentation on ChatGPT. And so I asked for some great tips for a great presentation. I got a whole bunch of text back. So I mentioned refining. So I've asked it for bullet points only. And here's what it came up with. Here are the key ones. Know your audience, practice, practice, practice. Keep it simple and engaging. And I'll keep trying to do that for you today. What are the best uses of ChatGPT in business? Very important question. It can be used for customer service. And again, I could have bullet pointed this, but I wanted you to have a little bit of extra explanation to go back to later. It's very good at handling customer inquiries, not just the old chatbots that you see that are really formulated responses on a lot of websites. You can really keep going back and forth with it. And so long as its knowledge base has been trained, it might actually be better than sitting on the phone and trying to get through to a real person that's not actually trained up to answer your questions and puts you on hold and says, just a minute, I need to check on that. So this could actually revolutionize customer service as we know it. Brilliant at marketing, writing blogs, writing content, absolutely fantastic at that. And the quality of content is amazing. I'm building a management consulting diploma course at the moment to really capture everything I've learned about management consulting, and ChatGPT's knowledge is brilliant. I couldn't have developed so much content myself or covered everything that it covers, and certainly I couldn't have done it in the amount of time that ChatGPT can produce really, really good quality content, and it's only going to get better as we go through. For sales, it can be used for product recommendations, asking product-related questions. You're looking at buying something. You can type in there, what are the pros and cons of this particular TV versus another TV, or I'm looking to do this in my backyard. What do you recommend is the best approach for me? Or I've got a problem with my pool water quality. Give me some ideas to improve it. Anything you want can be there. And so it's great for the sales process that people can ask questions. And we'll get on to how that affects recruitment in item number 4 here. ChatGPT is limited, ChatGPT has identified HR and recruitment as number 4 best use of ChatGPT in business. So we're spot on here with using ChatGPT for recruitment. It can be used to screen job applications or job applicants, provide initial feedback on their qualifications and fit for the role. That's just scratching the surface, and we're going to get into more of that later. And really good at knowledge management as well. It can create a knowledge base of frequently asked questions, which can be accessed by employees and customers and anyone interested in a particular product or service. Just fantastic for content creation in that respect. It says overall it's good for automating repetitive tasks, reducing response times and providing better customer service. However, it's important to keep in mind ChatGPT's limitations, ensure that it is used responsibly and ethically. So it keeps disclaiming itself around ethics and limitations. What's the nicest way to fire a non-performing staff member? I chose a random question here. And anything you want when you're managing a business, you can type in performance management ideas. This one's how to fire a performing staff member in a nice way. And the advice is really, really good. I was trying to trip it up here and see how empathetic that ChatGPT is, but I probably couldn't have written a better list myself. Be honest and direct, be respectful and empathetic, give an opportunity to improve. Offer support, keep it confidential, and follow the law and company policies. And I don't think you can get better advice there. And this could save a huge amount of time when you're sitting there trying to handle a situation, and make sure you're covering all bases. So some of this you'll know, but you might think, I didn't think of that. And you can develop policies and procedures around these sort of processes that ChatGPT is developing for you. Now, let's think about the job market. What jobs could ChatGPT replace? So there's been a lot of press about replacing a lot of jobs, and let's ask ChatGPT, which jobs does it think could be replaced? Customer service, we've talked about that. Technical support specialists. ChatGPT can provide a lot more information and a lot faster without having to train up people to respond to technical support questions, or the basic ones anyway, and means you don't have to actually go through the cost of having a lot of technical support specialists. Ideally, if the technical issue is more detailed, then it can go to a real person later. But I think we'll see the time where most of it's going to be covered with ChatGPT, with its very interactive way of questioning and answering to get to the core of what the issue is. So replacing social media managers, so much content now can be generated by ChatGPT, and look, the content can be much more relevant and can be written perfectly. And I think this is a really, really important point too, that there's a lot of human error in social media posts that you'll see these days. There's spelling mistakes, there's grammatical issues, and I'm going to talk about it later, but job ads are written absolutely appallingly in our market, and ChatGPT doesn't make the same mistakes that humans make. Data entry operators, a lot of tasks can be automated. There's a lot of apps and add-ons and zaps that can interact with ChatGPT that can automate tasks in your database, in Excel, in Word/Google Sheets, and a whole bunch of other programs, whether they're processes or financial or enterprise software. ChatGPT is going to start to integrate with a lot of these systems to automate and make everything much more efficient in the way things are processed. So it's going to speed up and save time and money. And virtual assistants, so it can schedule meetings, respond to emails, and perform other admin tasks typically performed by humans. So very basic stuff, and voice automation can be used as well within ChatGPT. So voice dictation to be doing a lot of this stuff is going to speed up the process. So you'll note here that it says that, however, it's important to know that ChatGPT is not a replacement for all jobs. There will always be certain tasks that require human skills, such as critical thinking, empathy, and creativity. Again, it talks about the ethical implications of using ChatGPT and replacing humans with automations. We need to handle this replacement with great responsibility as we go forward, and keep an eye on that. What jobs is ChatGPT unlikely to replace in the job market? While ChatGPT can be useful in automating certain tasks, there are some jobs that are unlikely to be replaced. And some of these are creative professionals, healthcare workers, that makes sense, legal professionals, I've still got a bit of a uncertainty around that. I think a lot of the documentation that legal professionals do, and lawyers, by the way, are all over ChatGPT. It's saving them huge amounts of time and money, and it's really automating their whole industry immediately because it's based on a lot of content. It's the human factor of legal, which is big in healthcare as well, that won't be able to be replaced at this stage. Educators, you really need skilled teachers and presenters, but a lot of the work can be done as far as content creation and automation of interacting with students can occur using ChatGPT. And a lot of schools and universities went to initially ban it, but now they're starting to say it's okay, you can use it because we cannot police and monitor it, but you'll still have to answer questions to prove that you have the knowledge of the subject that's being taught. Emergency responders, that's an obvious one too. They'll never be able to be replaced by ChatGPT. AI, different story. Once ChatGPT and AI is incorporated into robotics, then we're going to see a lot more of firefighters, for example, that are going to be robots protected from the fire, who can go in there and do things that humans won't be able to necessarily do when there's a really dangerous situation. So that's the future. And if you go on YouTube and Google robotics, what's happening in that space, and it's mind-blowing. It really is. There's so much happening in that space, and it will be around the convergence of AI and robotics. So ChatGPT great at automating certain tasks, but it's unlikely to fully replace jobs that require human skills, judgment, and expertise. And that's what's involved in recruitment to a very large extent, as you well know. Okay, now we've asked ChatGPT to list the best uses for recruitment. And here's the first list that came up. Now know that if you do the search on another day, it'll come up with some different answers, which means it's not plagiarizing anyone. It's coming up with unique answers. And that's another huge difference between Google. ChatGPT you can cut and paste information and publish it without any fear of copyright infringement, because it has been written by AI here. And that's why very quickly ChatGPT is going to be a charge service for sure, because people are generating content that is really free and free of copyright. So there is quite a value to having this. And already for what I've been using it for in consulting and handling advice for my clients on growing successful recruitment companies, I've sent them a lot of information that I've double checked with ChatGPT, and I'm able to send them information and ideas really, really quickly, and be able to do it in a manner that doesn't breach any sort of copyright, but provides great service to clients who are looking to grow their business. But as far as recruitment goes, here's the list that ChatGPT came up with really quickly: screening candidates, candidate engagement, interview scheduling, assessment and testing, and onboarding. And you'll see in a minute that we've come up with many more ideas that you can use ChatGPT for, but this is what ChatGPT came up with straight away to streamline the recruitment process, as you'll see down the bottom, and provide candidates with quick and efficient responses to their queries. So it can reduce the workload on recruiters and ensure a positive candidate experience. Now, of course, there's the client experience as well, and there's also the well-being of the recruitment consultant, who the big benefit here is the recruitment consultant can be better focusing on the human aspects of recruitment, which is going to lead to more placements, better customer service, better client service, and better, obviously, candidate service as well. And staff performance and well-being will increase as efficiency improves and performance improves of recruitment consultants. I asked it more, what else? So if you're not happy with the list that it generates, you can ask it and just say more. I literally typed in more, and it can be used in recruitment for diversity and inclusion, to promote diversity and inclusion, to check that potential biases are removed, talent pipelining, feedback and follow-up, employer branding, and cost savings. And I mentioned this before, to reduce recruitment costs by automating certain aspects of the process, so it can save time, money, and resources to provide better service to both clients and candidates. there's 10 ideas. We asked it for more. The candidate experience, improve the candidate experience. This one is really key because a lot of the surveys we've done over the years shows that candidates really don't enjoy the experience they get with the recruiters, especially when a recruiter gets tons of candidates responding to an ad. And to manage the expectations of those candidates can be very difficult, even with automated email. You can use ChatGPT to automate the experience that candidates have, so they get a much better experience. Multilingual support, you're working with candidates and clients that English might not be their first language, and you can actually be communicating in other languages very, very accurately to widen the candidate pool, especially for roles that don't require English as a first language, for example. Data analytics, we could talk about that for a long time. There's a lot of work that ChatGPT can be doing in that area, and a lot of research companies and systems providers and data providers are already big time into ChatGPT. 24/7 availability. There's always, ChatGPT is always awake to answer questions for companies, and which is great. And scalability. You can scale your recruitment processes and business by handling a much larger volume of candidates and queries and interactions. So efficiency to reduce time and money, and to improve the whole recruitment process. So I've listed here, and this is 18 that I came up with really quickly. And when you get a copy of the presentation, you can have a look at this, or note these down, or take a photo of this particular slide. But I listed out some of the really practical ways to use ChatGPT to revolutionize recruitment, which is what this presentation is all about. So we've covered some of these, but here it is in a nutshell, and there's many more. But it can generate content to establish knowledge and trust. Really important if you're a recruitment consultant. It can dramatically improve job ads. You can cut and paste a job ad into ChatGPT and say, improve this job ad. It will remove typos and improve grammar, and it can produce a much more professional result. Better match candidates to a role. You can literally type in a candidate's details and then the details of a role, and say, how well is this candidate matched to this role? And it will tell you where the gaps are, and help you with matching. You can ensure CVs and LinkedIn profiles match up. Really important for consistency, so that you're you're making sure that your candidate is as advertised before putting them forward to a client, and it gives you the opportunity to check any discrepancies between their CV and their LinkedIn profile. And it also will allow you to help them update their LinkedIn profile and produce a better CV. And as far as CVs go, ChatGPT is brilliant at writing CVs. So you can get it to take a candidate's CV and improve it and format it and make it look brilliant, all in a few seconds. So you can create job ads based on job descriptions. A client might give you a job description. It can create the job ad for you. You can create a job description, the reverse, based on a job ad. You can develop screening questions for candidates you're interviewing based on the job ad or the job spec or the job description. You can identify candidates' skill gaps, the candidate's background or their CV versus what the role entails, and then develop questions to clarify how they might overcome those skill gaps. You can create reference checking questions based on the job spec and the candidate's background. You can produce a checklist to prepare candidates for interview. You can develop interview questions based on a job ad. You can create interview questions for your clients when they go to interview the candidates. Imagine that service. Create second interview questions. So you've already got first interview questions. You can say, right now, I'd like a list of second interview questions, and you might base them on the answers the candidate is given to the first interview questions. Really powerful, and I really encourage you to experiment with some of this stuff. If you're on Job Adder, one of our supporters, you can use Zaps to automate a lot of the above, and job ad is working very, very hard on integrating using Zapier to combine ChatGPT's capabilities into its recruitment management systems so that you can automate a lot of those processes that I've already mentioned. You can develop a candidate induction program for your clients. You can, and that'll be based on the job description again too. And it works really well. It won't be 100% perfect. You will need to edit and just check that it's relevant to the role in the company. But you can outline a candidate training program. You can ask it to develop a training program for a Java programmer with 2 years experience going into XYZ role, and you'll be really, really pleased with the way it comes up with this. So you're going to be able to provide lots of extra value to your clients and to your candidates as well. You can prepare candidates better. You can provide clients with a lot more great information to show you're really providing great service, great value for the recruitment fees that are charged. So it's not just recruiting a person now. You can be providing lots of great knowledge and tools and resources for both your clients and your candidates. You can develop a client and candidate feedback program. The list goes on, and you can use your imagination and take some of those steps in the recruitment process. And we've identified 50 steps in the recruitment process previously. If you want a copy of those 50 steps, just send me a message at any time. And you could be using ChatGPT to automate any of those 50 steps to a certain degree. And at least it can provide some structure around a very, very complex process that is recruitment. All right, let's bullet point a list of parts of the recruitment process unlikely to be replaced by AI. So this is the stuff that AI or ChatGPT is not going to be best at. And you'll probably know most of these, but building relationships with clients and candidates. Now, this is the big benefit, I believe, of using ChatGPT. It'll get recruiters away from their computer and spending more time in front of clients and candidates, which is where the magic happens and where all the relationships are built and where all the special chemistry of what recruitment is will occur rather than in front of the keyboard. It will not replace interviews and looking people in the eye and looking at body language and chemistry and all those things that happen when you're face to face with someone cannot be replaced. Negotiating job offers, there's a lot of back and forward and trying to work out what's in it for each party. And look, I think a lot of that will be automated eventually, or ChatGPT or its AI. The future versions of ChatGPT will be able to do some of that. Building a company culture that requires a human touch and making final hiring decisions. Although ChatGPT can give a good probability of whether the person's going to be right, the final decision needs to incorporate all those different elements of fit, of skill, of personality, of the role and the culture and all those things that we talked about that come into that final hiring decision. So anything that requires a high degree of human interaction or emotional intelligence, subjective decision-making and nuanced understanding of both the client and candidate needs is what is unlikely to be replaced by AI. All right, here's a big one for recruitment owners. They're always looking at hiring great consultants, and it's really hard, and we still have quite a high degree of turnover in the recruitment industry. And so asking ChatGPT to list the attributes of the very best recruiters means that we now have a benchmark for hiring and performance managing, I guess, great recruiters. And if you are a recruiter watching this, you might take this list of the 10 attributes of the very best recruiters and score yourself on each of them and work out which of these areas you need to work on to be even better at what you do. So if you're hiring recruiters, you'd look at this list and you develop questions, or you actually can get ChatGPT to develop questions around these attributes to determine whether the person has these. So, a great recruiter a recruiter who doesn't have persistence and determination, for example, is going to struggle in recruitment. If you don't have strong communication skills, you're going to struggle in recruitment. And look, this is a really good list of 10 attributes. I probably couldn't come up with a better list myself. And if you wanted to, you could just type more into ChatGPT and get more attributes. So very, very useful information. All right, now I want to show you the worst job ad I think I've ever seen. This one's just very, very recent, and the recruitment company should be shamed, but I haven't shamed them. But this is a real job, and this is verbatim what they posted on Seek. And as you know, Seek ads are very expensive now. I just cannot believe that this recruitment company would waste so much money to replace such a bad ad. And I need to really, really push this point home, because I look at ads a lot and I see really poor ads. I see poor ads by companies. I see poor ads by recruitment companies. So please take a really good look at your ads. You know what the key elements are of a very good quality ad. You've got to give a good amount of detail about where the role is, for example, and what the industry is, what type of company it is, and be very clear on what's required to be successful in the role, what skills are required, what education is required, what the day-to-day activities that are going to be in performing the role, so that and then finally, of course, what are the benefits of a really good candidate leaving their current job to go and work in this role? What's going to attract them to the role? Why would they move? The best candidates are already working in companies and doing really well. So to attract the best, you have to really put good benefits in. I can't tell you how many job ads that I see that are a laundry list of requirements and with no benefits at all. And look, this ad just sums it up. As you can see, it's just appalling. I'm not going to read it to you, but it doesn't state what industry. There's no benefits. There's no, what is the role? How's it going to work? I mean, we know it's a contracting role. And, what sort of person's going to respond to this? It's going to be someone that's really desperate for work. Maybe they'll get lucky and find someone really good, but it's just, I'm sorry, but it's the worst job ad I've ever seen. So I thought, okay, what can we do? How can we fix this? We can send it to ChatGPT. So here's ChatGPT's magic. I said to ChatGPT, I cut and pasted that, and I put it in ChatGPT, and I said, turn this into a professional job ad for a change manager in the retail industry. I guess that job was a leading retail organisation because of the location that was specified as Australia Fair Gold Coast. So that's all I typed in, and look at this job ad. It's not totally perfect, but you can just edit that really quickly, and it's got all the key elements that I was talking about: the role, the responsibilities, the requirements, and most importantly, the benefits. And look how much more professional this job ad is. The $200 or $300 or whatever the Seek ad cost is going to result in a lot better response rate and a much better return on investment. So for owners, your staff, your recruiters need to be placing really, really professional job ads to get good candidates. And the ones that you don't place obviously can be reverse marketed to other clients for even more effectiveness and return on investment for job advertising. And also your reputation's at stake. This other company here, you can't tell who it is, but I mean, what sort of operation is that would be posting that? Your brand reputation is really on the line here, because so many people, even people not looking for jobs, are looking at job ads. So there you go. Great practical example of how to turn a terrible ad into a good ad. And I'm really hoping that everyone that's watching this is the bare minimum of quality of job ads that you will be ever placing. All right, now let's talk about quickly, as we come to the close of the presentation, what are some of the future applications of ChatGPT for recruitment? This is important and interesting. It came up with virtual job fairs. So instead of getting a whole bunch of people together in a very expensive environment, it can be done virtually, and that could be really interesting. So a job fair, instead of, yes, in person is better, but imagine how much wider the coverage could be if it was done virtually. And you'll probably see that Meta is doing a lot of work in the meta world and the virtual space around bringing people in via avatars to interact in a more virtual world. It'll give a much bigger international flavor, and it will be able to involve a lot more people at any one time. So you'll be trading off a human element here for a much wider spread and much more information and interaction around particular job fairs, as talked about here. It can help with pre-employment assessments, with video interviewing. It can do a lot of that and automate a lot of that. And it can take the words that are spoken at the video interview, transcribe them into text, and then generate further interview questions, all automated, I should say. It can provide career guidance, and try it yourself. You can type in there, "I'm not happy with my job now, give me advice." And it'll ask you questions back and around, what is it? What parts of your job are you not satisfied with? And you could be saying, "Look, I'm totally overloaded. What should I do?" And it'll make suggestions around outsourcing or getting support or stepping back and taking a break or managing your health, whatever it might be. You can provide a great career guidance program for your candidates on your website, powered by ChatGPT and AI. And for job matching, we've talked about that. I think in the future, the matching process can all be done so that then the recruiter is looking for those more human elements in the matching process. We can get right down to the end decision making because we've got the matching process a lot more accurate, and we can then get to that. Can I work with this person? Will they fit the culture? That end of the recruitment process that is critically important. So you can see overall ChatGPT, and I like the way it summarizes a lot of the answers. ChatGPT has the potential to revolutionize the recruitment process by providing a more efficient, personalized, and candidate-friendly experience for job seekers, while reducing the workload on recruiters, improving the quality of hiring decisions. And notice a lot of this is focused at the candidate side, but look, ChatGPT can be helping at the client side too, providing a much better experience for the client, which are the ones paying your fees. And that means you can retain clients and get a lot more referrals from new clients and really be building a business around providing better service to clients and candidates. Okay, here's a few other untested advanced applications of AI that I wanted to share with you. We covered recruitment. Here's some of the other stuff that you can be using AI for that you might not know about. I follow a lot of this stuff, and here's some fun ones that I thought I'd add into the presentation for you that you might find interesting. First one is Bardeen.ai. It's an automation tool. It helps with a lot of recurring and repetitive tasks, and you can integrate with LinkedIn and hundreds of other apps as well. So check these out. We don't have time to go into each of them, but I wanted to give you a list of ones to check out and see if they are relevant and whether you can use them. Okoya, I think I pronounced that right, generates and posts content fast, both manually and automatically. Really good for that. I want to create music. And we haven't talked about a lot of AI's applications in the digital and in the entertainment sectors, but you can compose unique music for free at the moment on Beethoven.ai 1. So really interesting. Generate logos and stock images, and all the images in this presentation were all generated by AI. For example, the picture you see on this presentation, I asked it for a future version of Captain's Table. And so it looks like a round table meeting room that's on the Starship Enterprise, and totally royalty free now. So, and look at the quality, really, really good. So that one is called stockimg.ai. It's free, and you can save hundreds of hours and produce images. And improve your public speaking skills with this one, poise.com. And it can help you practice presentations and give you feedback on your presentation and ideas for improvement. Write Sonic, a revolutionary AI like ChatGPT, a conversational chatbot that addresses some of the limitations of ChatGPT. It's more, I guess, interactive and a little bit more human-like even. So have a look at that one. For resume writing, so this is for recruiters, automate your CV creation with an AI resume writer. Reformatting, humans reformatting and writing resumes is going to be a thing of the past for sure. Here's one called rationale.jinai. AI. It's a AI tool to assist business owners, managers, and individuals in making tough decisions. So it goes through decision trees and helps you weigh up the pros and cons of complex decision making. Brilliant idea. Beautiful.ai for making beautiful presentations. Didn't use it in this presentation. Haven't got my head around it yet, but what I read about it, it looks really good. Here's one I really, really like, and I encourage you to have a look at it. It's called beta.character AI. You might have heard of character AI. You've got individual avatars of characters that you can ask industry or topic specific questions. You've got Einstein, you've got Elon Musk, you've got a whole bunch of celebrities, people living and dead that you can have very realistic conversations with about subject matter areas. If you're into gaming, for example, you can have discussions about favorite games and hardware setups and whatever. For sport, amazing. Talk about pros and cons of these techniques, whatever. If you're into golf, whatever it might be, character AI is really, really good to look at. And another one here for you is beta.tome.app. It's an AI presentation tool around storytelling. It uses storytellings in your presentation. So you're telling stories about things to get messages across and have much more impact. And finally, DAL or DAL-E is the image generating AI tool that you might know about, and that's what I use for this presentation. Some of the images today, including the very spooky looking lady that we've used at the front of the presentation. So very, very useful, and that's just scraping the surface. There's tons more, and watch this space, so much more is coming. So what are the next steps for you? Obviously, if you haven't already signed up to ChatGPT, get into it now. Just really enjoy it, ask it anything, get practice with it. A lot of people I know are already using it. Marketers are all over it. Lawyers, as I mentioned, are all over it. Great for generating content, ideas, building your website, adding useful content to your website. It used to be so laborious having to write stuff. Don't need to do that anymore. You can automate it all. And define, next step would be to define areas of immediate business or process improvement rather in your business that you could apply ChatGPT to. So again, look at the recruitment process, grab the 50 steps, look at all your recruitment processes and work out, start implementing ChatGPT to improve and automate and make some of those processes more efficient immediately, because it will save you time and money and enable you to make more placements, which is what we want to be doing here. And finally, consider using a recruitment industry specialist to really help you identify opportunities in your business. So getting someone else into your business to coach, mentor, or structure your processes to improve them can be really helpful, and they can help advise you on how to implement ChatGPT into your processes. So have a look at that. And with that, I'll say thank you very much again to our sponsors who bring Captain's Table to you every month. And without them, as I said before, we wouldn't be able to put on Captain's Table. We're currently operating in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, live and in person. And this is a recording for those that did buy tickets but were unable to attend, and also so that we're capturing a lot of the important knowledge that we do present at Captain's Table. So thank you very much to all our sponsors, and thank you very much for all of you for if you attended Captain's Table this month, or that you're seeing this presentation. And you'll see that Adele Last is my partner in crime who handles Melbourne Captain's Table, and so thanks to Adele, who will be also presenting this to a very good group down in Melbourne. So thank you all, and please feel free to call or make any comments with the information provided in this final slide rather. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the next Captain's Table.